Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel and another weekly watches. I'll try and keep this short and sweet this week. I know Roy's just done his this week and he only had 8 titles to show off, but it went on for half an hour and he was saying to us in the group, he's saying how he was waffling on a bit, but I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's just showing his passion for the films, which is what we all do. If we talk about them for 5-10 minutes, then that's it. I mean, probably just goes to show how much we enjoyed that specific film. But anyway, I'll get straight on with it. I think I've got 9 films to show from this week. I think it's 9. I think when I last counted it was 9. Can't remember now though. But anyway, just kicking off with The Fan, Tony Scott film starring Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes. Yeah, enjoyed this one. Thought it's a solid thriller, like crazy sort of thriller, like stalker, psycho sort of thing, like your Fatal Attraction sort of thing, but not erotic, but like a stalker crazy kind of thing. Basically, it follows Wesley Snipes' character, who is a baseball player that's just been signed by a big baseball team in San Francisco. For quite a lot of money to lead their team into the World Series. And no one could be happier than his number one fan, or he thinks he's his number one fan, Jill, or Gil, is it, played by Robert De Niro. Very supportive. He rings into this like sports radio kind of station every day and asks questions, talks to them, gives them his thoughts, and that's led by Ellen Barkin. She's the lead host, I suppose, reporter. And one day when he rings in, they have Bobby, Wesley Snipes' characters, on the line, and they kind of get a bit of interaction, and his obsession grows a bit. And like I said, it's like an obsession stalker kind of film. It goes more and more, as you would expect, as the film goes on. But it's solid. It's a solid 90s thriller. You kind of know what you're going to get from a film like this. And it was decent. Scored by Hans Zimmer, which was pretty good. I mean, you kind of know what you're getting with Tony Scott. He's pretty reliable director, he was. And yeah, it was just a solid Sunday afternoon watch for me. So that was my first one, The Fan. Next up, I think this is probably going to be, the worst of the week. Worst I've seen in a while, to be fair. And won't be staying in my collection. Kind of shocked me because of the creatives behind this film, but just thought it was crap, to be honest. Sunshine, Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland, which surprised me as well. Basically, all the team behind 28 Days Later came back to do this. You've even got Cillian Murphy in basically the lead role. You've got Chris Evans, you've got Hiroyuki Sanada, Michelle Yeoh, Rose Byrne, what's his name? Cliff Curtis, Benedict Wong. It's a good cast. Unfortunately, the story's bad, not very good. It's quite boring. I lost interest quite quickly with this one. I was telling the guys, I think I mentioned it on the live stream actually. I'd put it on bank. I think I watched it on Bank Holiday Monday, or I put half of it on last Sunday. And I just couldn't, before I went to bed, I just couldn't follow it. So I put it on before the stream, or just before the stream. Not just before, because I watched the other one just before the stream on Monday, and I literally walked off. I just wandered off and came back, and just so happened as I came back, it said directed by Danny Boyle. I thought, oh yes, thank God for that. It's finally finished. I won't use profanity like I did on the stream. Just not a good film, not good ending. Not one I could recommend, although I know it has got its audience out there. It's not for me. I know Roy kind of felt similar about it. I think Tim said it just never really appealed to him. Yeah, not one that I'll be keeping in the collection at all. So yeah, Sunshine. At least I gave it more thought than I did with Kill List. I thought I'd explain why, because I've got thoughts. It's it is what it is. Sunshine. Next up, I watched one of the highlights of the week, actually, and a surprise, because I didn't think that I would enjoy it as much as I did, but it turned out to be pretty good. Sorry about that. So yeah, this one was a surprise to me. Really enjoyed this. True story, as it says on the front, an unforgettable true story, and I highly recommend this. I recommended it on the stream. I'm going to recommend it again now. Amazing Grace, based on the true story of how slavery was abolished over here in England, or in Britain, shall I say, in the late 18th, was it 18th? Yeah, late 18th century, so 1700s. Led by William Wilberforce, who was kind of leading the campaign to abolish slavery back then. And he had a very small group back then. A lot of people were slave owners themselves, and they just thought it was obscene, them trying to get rid of it. But then, the more they looked at it and how the slaves were being treated, they got more people on their side. It's just an incredible story. If you want to know more, highly recommend this film. Definitely worth checking out. You got Ewan Grufford, who plays William Wilberforce. You got Romola Garai, Kieran Hines, Rufus Sewell, who is okay. Not my favourite. I know he's not one of Stuart's favourites either. He just doesn't really. He's just got this. Just there is something about him that's just kind of off, and I don't know what. But anyway, Michael Gambon, Albert Finney, Benedict Cumberbatch is in this one. Toby Jones. Great cast, and brilliant true story. Highly recommend it. It's also written by Stephen Knight, who was the man behind Peaky Blinders. Yeah, one of the highlights of the week. Amazing Grace, that one is. And then next up was my pick for watch pile of the week, and that was, of course, Compliance. So I'm not going to go over this too much. If you're more interested in my deeper thoughts, go and watch the watch pile episode. I do actually go into spoilers, because it's quite a difficult film to talk about without going into it in detail and specific thoughts of the film. But I did give my brief over thoughts in that video before I went into spoilers. But yeah, really powerful film. Really makes you think. It makes you angry. It makes you feel sick. Go through a lot of different emotions. And the fact that this actually happened the way that it did, and it says in this film, nothing was changed. Everything that happens in this film actually did happen in real life, and that just makes you feel even more shocked. But I'm not going to tell you what this is about. I think this is one you just need to watch and see for yourself. I know Ash recommended this one originally. Sam's recommended this to me as well. Just go and watch it. Don't look into it or anything. I recommend seeing it for yourself. This Blu-ray's pretty pricey now. I got mine for about £10 on eBay, but I'm sure there's a DVD available if you really want to just get it on physical. But yeah, that is Compliance. Next up, I turned to Ash's pick from not the week just gone, the week before. And another one thoroughly enjoyed, another highlight of the week for me, I would say, and that is A League of Their Own. Penny Marshall film, Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, Madonna. Although I wouldn't say she's a lead in this, I think she's probably credited higher because of who she is, I want to say. All about, based on a true story again, the first all-American girls baseball league, which was invented in the 40s during the Second World War, when all the men were at war, and they needed some sort of entertainment, some sort of sport in like a league. So they created this league for the women, which was only meant to be temporary whilst the men were at war. But it became so much more. It's just really great. It's funny. It's very heartwarming. Tom Hanks is brilliant in this. I think this is probably his last proper comedic role before he went into drama, because the year after this, obviously, he would go on to win an Oscar for Philadelphia. And then the following year, he'd go on to win another Oscar for Forrest Gump. So yeah, but you can just see the actors in this just great. Gina Davis is great. You've got Bill Pullman, David Strathairn, who's a great character actor. Really like him. Gary Marshall, Penny Marshall's brother, who's also quite a famed director. 2 years prior did Pretty Woman. And yeah, just a really nice, easy comedy watch that I thoroughly enjoyed. So that's A League of Their Own. Next up, I can't remember who chose this in the watch pile. Again, I think that this was this week just gone. But it was Flashdance from the 80s. Adrian Lyne directed this. Good film. Did enjoy it. Didn't love it. There were parts of it I really liked. I mean, she's gorgeous, Jennifer Beals, in this. Basically, if you don't know what it's about, she plays a young woman who just wants to be a dancer. That's her dream, to make it and be a professional dancer. But her main job, she works at like as a welder in like a big factory. And one day, her boss, who at the time she doesn't know, and he doesn't know she works for her, he sees her dancing, performing at a club at night, and instantly, like, I suppose falls in love at first sight, that sort of thing. Everybody knows the soundtrack in this. It's just got great soundtrack, and yeah, it is a good film, a good 80s film. But I prefer Dirty Dancing over this, because it's a similar sort of thing, I suppose. A film centered around dancing in the 80s with a good soundtrack, basically the same. But yeah, really enjoyed this, and we'll be watching it again at some point, I'd imagine. Flashdance. Ooh. Next up, another one I really enjoyed this week, which was again not from this week's just gone, the weeks before, the last pick that I hadn't watched, throwing them around everywhere. And that's The Man in the Iron Mask from '98. This one starring Leonardo DiCaprio. He plays King Louis and also plays the Man in the Iron Mask. You've got Jeremy Irons, John Malkovich, Gerard Depardieu, and Gabriel Byrne as the Musketeers, the aged Musketeers in this, shall I say. So Gabriel Byrne plays D'Artagnan in this, who has now become like head of the King's bodyguards, I suppose. And Jeremy Irons, who plays Aramis, has kind of become like a priest, very spiritual and religious. You've got Gerard Depardieu, who's Porthos. He's just a bit of a drunk, very suicidal, just a ladies' man, but a bit, you know, if you know what's gone on with him now. But you just got, with those sorts of things, you just really have to separate the art from the artist. I do truly believe in that. And yeah, it's just, I like these sorts of films. I like any Alexander Dumas adaptation. Same sort of like the Count of Monte Cristo, anything like that, up my street. And yeah, really had a lot of fun with this one. Great, like, adventure, swashbuckling sort of film. Yeah, if you like the Musketeers films and you haven't seen this, then definitely recommend it. I do believe there is another version. I think Richard Chamberlain is in that one, which I'd be interested to check out. Might like it more, I don't know. I did really enjoy the Count of Monte Cristo. Who knows? But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. Thought it was a great watch. Got a lot of emotion to it as well, a lot of heart, which I always like in these sorts of films. So yeah, that's The Man in the Iron Mask. Next up, we have Thanks for Sharing, which is from 2012, I want to say. I mean, it says 2014, but it's not. I'm pretty sure it's 2012. Yeah, it does say 2012 there. This is kind of, it's not a sex comedy, really. It's a romantic comedy, although it's can be quite dark in places and more dramatic, about a sex addict group. And in this group you have Tim Robbins, who's been recovering for, I think, 20 years. He's also a recovering alcoholic. Mark Ruffalo, who's his sponsoree, who's been in recovery for 5 years, I think. He meets Gwyneth Paltrow's character, falls in love with her, starts a relationship with her, but fails to tell her that he's a sex addict, because she says that she doesn't want to date any addicts. And Jolie Richardson plays Tim Robbins' wife in this. And you got Patrick Fugit, who plays their son, and I didn't recognise him to start with, but then it clicked. He's the kid from Almost Famous, grown up, definitely. So he's kind of like got a bit of a on the rocks relationship with his dad, because he had problems himself, which he kind of puts on his dad because that's his role model. It was his role model growing up. So they've got a bit of a rocky relationship. And then you got Josh Gad, who is a doctor who's just really struggling. He's really struggling, like he can't even go a day without doing something stupid. But he forms like a friendship with Pink's character, who's just started the program as well and has her own sort of backstory. And yeah, it's a really nice film, very funny in bits. Like I said, equal amounts of drama, comedy. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. Shame there's no Blu-ray for it, but I'm glad that I have it anyway. So yeah, that's Thanks for Sharing. And the last one I watched, which Sam recommended to me, I think he said on the stream last week, that I'd love this film because it's very Wes Anderson in style and tone, which I totally get now having seen it. And it is the brilliant Amélie. So it's Audrey Tautou plays the title character, Amélie. And she basically, it's very whimsical, very fantastical sort of thing, like all about her mind. Basically, it's shot like, I can see it's shot like a Wes Anderson film shot. The characters you could imagine in a Wes Anderson film as well. But it starts when she's like 6 years old and goes through up until when she moves out from her house. She becomes a waitress at this local cafe in Montmartre, which is in Paris, a part in Paris. And yeah, it's just about her adventures, her trying to help people, and be a good person, just helping other people that are less fortunate than her. It's a lovely film, really good film, heartwarming, uplifting. And I can't really say I've seen many French films, but if this is the standard to go against, then I definitely want to see more. There is one that I actually picked up in my haul, which I'll tease come possibly not this week, next week, because I've ordered a few stuff over the last few days that I'm waiting to get to put in that video. So once they've come, I'll then do a big haul. It's going to be a big one. It's probably going to be about an hour and a half, not going to lie. So it's going to be a big commitment because there's a lot to show. But I did pick up a French film that I'd actually seen before at school. Showed in my French class when I was younger, which I loved. So I want to revisit that. But yeah, Amélie, really good. Just nice film. Recommend this if you're trying to get into your foreign films and you don't know where to start. I say this is a great starting point. Life is Beautiful is another great starting point. And I'll put on the opposite end of the spectrum, Old Boy, which is really dark. That's a great starting point for foreign films. Those three are some of my favourite foreign films. This one now as well. So yeah, Amélie, brilliant film. Thanks, Sam, for recommending it to me, so I finally got around to watching it. Yeah, and I hope I can recommend this to someone else now and pass it on. But yeah, that is Amélie, which was my last film of the week. Not too bad, just got in just under 20 minutes. Nice, short and concise this week. Yeah, so this will be up this afternoon at some point, I would have thought. I won't put a video up tomorrow. I'll probably put one up Tuesday, or I might even just wait until the watch pile on Wednesday. I was hoping that the stuff that I'd ordered would be here tomorrow so I could record my haul video, but I don't think it will be until midweek, probably. And then I've got to get the time after work to record it, because like I say, it's going to take quite a bit of time to record it. So that's probably going to be the week after now, you'll see that. But I've got a few videos already recorded that I'll get uploaded this week, hopefully. The stream is on tomorrow as usual, 7:30 this week. I'm not 100% sure who's on the stream this week. I know it's definitely, obviously, myself. I know Sam's definitely on. I think Roy is coming back to finish off what we were doing last week. And possibly Jodie, maybe. I'll have to confirm with some people. And a special guest that will be their first time on the live stream. So yep, stay tuned if you're interested to know who that special guest is. Trying to get different people on all the time. It's just great talking to different people, hearing their thoughts on different things. We've had a lot of great guests on the stream so far. Lots that I'd love to come back. It's just scheduling, and because there's been so many, it's getting them all back on. There's lots of people that I'd love to talk to again. It's like I said, just sorting it out when they're free. But yep, tune in tomorrow 7:30 for that. Hopefully won't be too long, but I always say that and it always ends up being rather long, so we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's it for now. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time everyone, take care, goodbye.